It's going to happen very quickly. You're not even going to know it's coming and you're not going to expect it. What God is going to do in your life is going to be a blessing to you and it's going to happen quickly. Pay attention to the story. I want to talk to you about a man in scripture who went through many trials, many difficulties. He was rejected by his own brothers. They tried to kill him. They planned out his murder, but instead they sold him as a slave. And then they lied about it to their father that he had been killed in the field by a wild animal. And they sold him for a couple of pieces of silver because they hated him. They were jealous of him. They were envious of him. And he was only 17 years old when all this happened to him. By his own beloved brothers, he was betrayed. Who am I speaking about? I'm talking about Joseph. Joseph was a man that had many gifts, many promises. He had a calling of God over his life, but he went through many hardships. He went through many difficulties. But the same way that those hardships and difficulties happened on a day he did not expect, that was the same way that all of God's promises, all of God's blessings also happened on a day he did not expect. Listen to this, please. He's sold as a slave when he's 17. He goes to the house of a man named Potiphar. It looks like everything is changing because Potiphar is exalting him. Potiphar is promoting him. But then Potiphar's wife tries to sleep with him. Joseph says no. She raises up a false accusation about him that he tried to do something to her. They throw him into prison. So it would look like he was getting promoted. But then boom, he ends up even worse than at first. First time he was sold as a slave, but at least he was still able to be out in the free world. After this, now he's in a dungeon and he's there rotting in jail. But God has a plan for him. Now I want to let you know, from the time that Joseph was sold as a slave by his brothers and the time that I'm going to start reading to you, it's been 13 years. 13 years. So he's no longer 17, now he's 30. It's been 13 years of trial, of hardship, of endurance, of having to have faith in God, of having to see the good in all the bad. It's been 13 years. And it all changes in a day. It all changes in a day. And Joseph did not expect it. He did not expect it. Listen to this. Genesis chapter 41, verse 9 through 14. Pharaoh has a dream. No one can interpret it. He has a dream of 7 stalks of grain that are fat and full, and then 7 skinny stalks of grain that eat the 7 fat stalks of grain, but they still stay skinny. Same thing. He has a dream of 7 fat cows, but then in the same dream, 7 skinny cows come out the Nile, eat the 7 fat cows, but they're still skinny. Pharaoh is being tormented by this dream. He doesn't know what it means. It's reoccurring. It keeps happening and happening and happening. No one can interpret the dream. Now listen to this. Because while Joseph was in prison, there was the king's cupbearer and the king's baker. They had been in prison about 2 years before Joseph was called up by Pharaoh. They had dreams also. Joseph interpreted their dreams. Joseph said, hey, don't forget about me. The cupbearer was promoted. The baker was killed. Literally exactly how the dreams were interpreted by Joseph. He told the baker, you're going to be hanged. He told the cupbearer, you're going to be let go. What he said happened. Joseph told the cupbearer, don't forget about me. Guess what the cupbearer did? The cupbearer forgot about him. When it looks like it's going to get better, it doesn't, right? That's how it feels sometimes. Here it is. Here's my big chance. Here's my big shot. This is when it's all going to change. And nothing happens. Well, I'm letting you know. This is a word from the Lord. It's going to happen quickly and it's going to happen suddenly and you're not going to expect it. What we need to continue to do is keep walking by faith. The door's going to open on a day we don't expect it, okay? Keep walking by faith. Listen to this. This is after the dream of Pharaoh. Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, I remember my offense today. When Pharaoh was angry with his servants and put me and the chief baker in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, we dreamed on the same night, he and I, each having a dream with its own interpretation. A young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. When we told him, he interpreted our dream to us, giving an interpretation to each man according to his dream. And as he interpreted to us, so it came about. I was restored to my office and the baker was hanged. Listen to what Pharaoh says. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they quickly, this is why I got the title, It Will Happen Quickly, and they quickly brought him out of the pit. And when he had shaved himself and changed his clothes, he came in before Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. I have heard of you that you can interpret it. And Joseph answered, it is not me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer. Pharaoh tells Joseph the dream. Joseph interprets the dream. And then Joseph tells Pharaoh, look, put somebody who's wise in charge of collecting 20% in the 7 years of plenty. That way, in the 7 years of famine, you and the nation can have somewhere to eat of. Listen to what Pharaoh says. It's going to happen quickly. It was 13 years and it all changed in a day. That was chapter 41, verse 9 through 14. The same chapter, Genesis 41, but now let's read 38 through 46. We skip down where Joseph interprets the dream. Now let's read verse 38 through 46. And Pharaoh said to his servants, can we find a man like this in whom the Spirit of God is? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has shown you all this, there is none discerning and wise as you are. You shall be over my house, and all of my people shall order themselves as you command. Only as regards to the throne will I be greater than you. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, see, I have set you over all of the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh took his signet ring from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand and clothed him in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. He went from being a servant in a prison to now being the most powerful man in all of Egypt. No one is greater than him, only Pharaoh. He's the most greatest man with the most authority. He went from being a slave in a day to having the most authority in all of Egypt. That's what the Lord's telling you today. It's going to happen quickly. And he made him ride his second chariot, and they called out before him, bow the knee. Thus he set him over all the land of Egypt. Moreover, Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without your consent, no one shall lift a hand or a foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah, and he gave him in marriage Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. So Joseph went out over the land of Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went through all the land of Egypt. He was 30 years old. He was 17 when he was sold. He was 30 years old when this happened. How many years is that? 13 years. And it happened in a day. It happened. Joseph didn't wake up that day thinking everything's going to change today. He didn't wake up thinking like that. That's how God does it. He does it on a day that we don't expect. But do you know what Joseph was doing in those 13 years? He was being constant, consistent. You know, the Christian life is not about razzle and dazzle and oohs and ahs. The Christian life is about consistency. Consistency, constantly serving the Lord, consistently having faith, trusting God, believing God, practicing his word. And then one day it's going to happen quickly on a day you don't even expect. You just woke up. You were going to live for God like you always do. You were going to trust the Lord. You were going to roll with the punches like you always do, trusting the Lord. And then one day it just happened quickly. That's the word that God has for us. It's going to happen quickly. The way it happened in Joseph's life is the way that it's going to happen in our life on a day we don't expect. We're going to receive that breakthrough. We're going to receive that strength. We're going to stop struggling with that sin. It's all going to happen on a day, very quickly. Keep trusting the Lord. Keep walking by faith. God bless you. I pray this video was a blessing to your life. If it was, do me a favor. I post daily multiple videos that I hope and pray will be a great blessing to your life. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you would like to be alerted for my daily multiple videos of faith and encouragement, press the subscribe button right now so that you can be alerted every time I post a brand new video. I posted more videos earlier today. Go and watch them. I'm going to put one at the end of this video so that you can be encouraged. I know that that video is going to speak to your life. And if you would like to show your appreciation and support for my channel, you can do so in one of two ways. My channel does not have channel sponsorships, and it does not have sponsors that support my channel. But if you would like to show your appreciation and support to my channel, you can do so through a super thanks or through channel memberships. A super thanks looks something like this. You can find it down there next to the share button, next to the like button. Anything you feel in your heart to give is a great blessing to my life. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you in advance. The second way that you can show your appreciation, and this is on a monthly reoccurring basis, is called channel memberships. When you become a channel member, you receive special badges, special stickers, and access to any archive video that I post for channel members, you're going to have access to that. To become a channel member, you click the little join button that you can find below, pick one of the 3 levels, and you can become a channel member, showing your monthly form of appreciation. I'm also going to put a channel member link in my description. You can click that link to become a channel member. God bless you. Thank you in advance. And before you click off, remember I told you I was going to post a video for you to watch. Watch this video because I know that it's going to be a great blessing to your life. Have a blessed day.